Over the entire history of the NBA, there are quite simply some players that demand your attention. Guys like Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and so many other all-time greats that you can't help but watch and be left with your jaw on the ground, wondering how they're able to do the things that they do. These players are guys that have such complete control over the game, guys that clearly see the court on a completely different dimensional plane than their peers. The NBA has some of these guys right now, and I could spend hours talking about all of them, but in this video, I want to talk about Luka Doncic. I think we're all well aware of just how good Luka Doncic is. You don't have to be some generational basketball mind to watch what he does and think, hey, this guy's pretty good. Anybody with two eyes can see him for what he is, and over the course of the last 2 months or so, we are seeing why he's so great more than ever. I'm going to be breaking down why the stuff he's doing is historic stuff, why I think he's more of an MVP candidate than people may realize, and what this means for the Dallas Mavericks as they head into the postseason with aspirations to start winning with Luca. As always, be sure to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. Now, the Dallas Mavericks have been scorching hot since the calendar turned. They've won 19 of their last 25 games, which is the third best record in the entire league over that span. In this stretch, we've seen Luca have 10 total 30-plus point games, with 5 of those being 40-point games, and one of those 40-point games being a 51-point showing, which is only 2 points away from Dirk Nowitzki's record for the most points scored in a single game by a Dallas Maverick. One of the biggest changes for Luka in this new year has been the simple fact that his shot is starting to fall again. We saw this phenomenon from Luka last year, where he struggled shooting at the beginning of the season, but by the end of the year, he was shooting with above average efficiency. Over the first 25 games of the season, he only had a true shot percentage of 53.4%, which is well below league average, and quite simply not good for somebody who's scoring 25 points a night. But over the last 25 games, he's gotten that up to 56.6%, and over the last 15 games, it's sitting right at 60.6%. Arguably the biggest contributor to this recent rise in true shooting can be attributed to the uptick in three-point shooting. On the season, he's only 33.5% from three on 8.3 attempts per game. But when you look at the last 15 games of the season, he is shooting a blistering 41.2% from three on 9.1 attempts per game. He's not just knocking down wide open catch and shoot threes either. These are difficult shots. He's been one of the lowest in the league in terms of three-point shot quality according to Basketball Index, so the degree of difficulty that these shots have needs to be considered when you look at his efficiency. He's knocking down that patented step back that he has. He's stopping on a dime on crossovers to send guys flying. He's knocking down shots off of screens. Really, he just has a whole bag of tricks that he's using to get himself a good look from beyond the arc. Even if it's not technically always a good look, if he's knocking it down, then it's a good look for him. For a guy who relies so heavily on his three-point shooting to get his points, well, I don't need to explain to you why it's good news that he's starting to hit them at a consistent rate. Everybody loves to talk about how great of a three-point shot creator Luka is, but people don't really talk enough about how incredible of a finisher he is. He's easily one of the best guard finishers in the entire NBA right now. The biggest asset at Luka's disposal that's resulted in him being such a great finisher that I've been able to discern is his unrivaled level of patience and ball handling ability when trying to work his way into the paint. When you watch a guy like Ja Morant drive into the paint to get to the rim, he's getting there as quickly as possible and then figuring out what to do to get the shot off once he's there. Luka utilizes a much different approach. It's not a secret that Luka isn't the fastest player in the world, so this has forced him to rely less on athleticism and purely beating your man off the dribble, and instead focus more on finesse and taking a methodical approach to beat the defender in front of him. He utilizes a lot of unpredictable movements and will frequently stop and go to catch his defenders by surprise. Among guards, he's got the second best field goal percentage in the restricted area of any player attempting 3.5 or more attempts at the rim, with 72.1% in the restricted area. Now, it's not the highest volume in the world, but it's impressive nonetheless. The fact that he has this facet of his game to keep defenders honest when he's inside the arc makes him such a difficult scorer to plan for. And we haven't even begun to cover the all-time great playmaking that Luka is capable of. I really don't think I need to sit here and tell you that Luka is a great playmaker. Most people should know that by now, so why don't I just show you? He's masterful in the pick and roll, operating with complete control over the two-man game. Whether he's tossing up lobs to Powell or finding him in stride and splitting defenders, there is legitimately not a pass in the pick and roll that Luka isn't capable of making. Regardless of how much the defense seems to be clogging things up, Luka has the uncanny ability to find some sort of route to get the ball to his man. He's been one of the best pick and roll ball handlers in the NBA this season. He's currently generating the second most points per possession as the pick and roll ball handler this year. He's just a master in the pick and roll, and him and Powell do it masterfully. It's not just the pick and roll though where Luka is effective. I commonly make the remark that Luka has eyes in the back of his head, and while I do say that as a joke, there are times where he makes passes that make me question if there's actually any amount of truth to that statement. Look at this play and the level of patience and footwork that he exhibits. He basically has the entire OKC defense pulled into the paint because of the threat of his scoring. All that attention allows him to kick it out to Finney-Smith for the wide open three. Now, this pass here is one of the craziest passes I've seen this year, and I don't think I saw it posted anywhere. Dallas is going to initiate the pick and roll, and you can actually see Denver already moves into a position to help protect the drive. Luka somehow knows that Finney-Smith is open, and honestly, don't ask me how he knows that because I still don't understand where he would be able to see Finney-Smith open in the corner. And he puts the ball right in the shooting pocket, and it leads to an uncontested three-point shot. His 9 assists per game this year is the highest of his career so far, and it's clear that he's just getting better and better as a passer. He's a generational playmaking talent, and there's just no other way around it. It's between him and Jokic this year for whoever you want to consider the best passer in the league, but they're both otherworldly in their ability to create looks for their teammates. Now, a bit of an elephant in the room is the Kristaps Porzingis trade. We've seen Luka have his best performances of the season and arguably his career since Porzingis was traded. Why could that be? My answer to that is Porzingis was more of a second star type of player, when the truth is, Luka might not want a second star. Luka is the perfect heliocentric offense type of player. Porzingis doesn't fit in a heliocentric offense because he wants post touches, he's not necessarily a rim running big, his three-point shooting was lacking, and all of these other fit issues. Luka clearly thrives in a system where you just go 5 out on the perimeter and let Luka go to work. Lots of driving and kicking and catch and shoot shots. Porzingis just isn't conducive to a system like that. When you have a guy that wants to be a true second option, but your number one option doesn't actually want a second option, I think it's a pretty easy choice who you're going to cater to when your one option is Luka Doncic. So in the wake of this Porzingis trade, what does all of this mean for the Mavericks? Are they better? Are they worse? What's going on and where do they go from here? To me, the answer is simple. If Luka is happy with the moves that were made, then they were the right moves. Judging by how he's been playing lately, it's safe to say that he likes these moves, and the Mavericks look like they're going to be better off for it. They're rolling with this team into the postseason, and I truly think they're capable of upsetting any team in the Western Conference. Luka Doncic is already looking like an all-time great playoff performer, so if that trend continues into this year, and he's even better than last postseason with a supporting cast that complements his strengths better and can hold their own on both ends of the floor, there's no telling how far Luka can take this team. And as far as the MVP conversation goes, his team has a great record. They're climbing up to a top 4 spot in the Western Conference. He's looking like he's one of the best players in the entire NBA right now, and his efficiency continuously trends upwards. So my question is, why shouldn't he be in the MVP conversation? He's ticking all of the boxes that you have to tick to be an MVP candidate. To me, right now, over the past 25 games since the new year, he's easily a top 3 MVP candidate, and I think that's going to start being reflected here soon. So, do you think that Luka is an MVP candidate? Are they a dark horse for the Western Conference Finals? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. As always, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and leave a like on the video because that's the #1 way to help me out with the YouTube algorithm and get this video recommended to more people. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.